We want to bring your attention to a startling new report on the devastating effects of climate change. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, is out with its Arctic report card outlining serious consequences for the entire world, all because of melting ice. Since 1985, the oldest and thickest ice in the Arctic has disappeared by 95%. What remains is younger ice that breaks apart more easily and is likely to last through the following year. It's been referred to as the Arctic's version of the curious case of Benjamin Button. Just take a look at this image from NASA. You can see the dramatic change. That's 1984. This is 2001. A dramatic change in the amount of ice cover in the Arctic. One of the dangers of melting ice is rising sea levels. For some context, the ocean has risen about 8 inches since the year 1900. Scientists now expect it to gain another 4.3 feet by 2100. Now, coastal home prices have already been affected by this. A study by the First Street Foundation shows a loss of home values to the tune of $14.1 billion among just 8 states on the east coast of the United States. Remember, this is a worldwide problem. Arctic ice melting also creates a system of negative feedback. Ice reflects light, but dark seawater absorbs light, heating the oceans, in turn creating more ice melting. Now, the global warming created also brings more natural disasters. Director of the Climate Sciences Center at the Texas Tech University says climate change, quote, supercharges natural disasters like Hurricane Harvey and the Camp Fire in Northern California, emphasizing it's no longer a distant issue in space or time, which is what I think is the biggest part of this, right? That's the big deal. This is not something about the future. Whenever we talk about climate change, we put some date in the future. By 2100, the seas will have risen by 4 feet. But they're rising now. We're in it.
Guess who's going to help us understand why it matters? NBC's Al Roker is here with us, and NBC News new technology correspondent Jacob Ward. Al, I go to you first. What do you say back to the person who says, you know what, Al, I get it. You love the weather, you love planet, all this matters to you professionally and personally, but I'm just someone trying to get through the day and live my best life. Why the hell should I care?
Well, your best life is going to be affected by this.
How?
Because when you have less sea ice, when you have less of a, when you think about it, when you look at the snow, say when it snows, the sunlight is reflected off of that. That's why it's colder when you're around ice, when you're around snow. Well, if there's less ice out there, the atmosphere is allowed to push more sun in. The ocean absorbs more heat. That in turn causes more evaporation into the atmosphere. The atmosphere, these storms, these superstorms, these snowstorms, all use moisture for their fuel. So now you're putting more moisture into the atmosphere. That's creating greater storms. If you look at what has happened in the last 3 years with the number of hurricanes we've had, if you've looked at the number of rainfall events that are more than 3 inches, the amount of flooding we've seen, the amount of supercharged storms that have happened, that is all because of that sea ice. So we've had the summer minimum this year was the 6th lowest on record. The winter maximum was the 2nd lowest on record. So that means we've got more heat being generated in the ocean, which releases more energy into the atmosphere, which causes bigger storms, which is why. And when you think about it, 60% of our population in this country lives along a coast. All right?
Most expensive property.
Exactly. And where did most of the damage, other than the wildfires, happen this year? Along the coast. Yep. So it is affecting us now.
So, Jake, to what degree the United States has just sort of rebuffed another climate report from the United Nations in this particular case? Right. But where does the change that is going to be necessary, if it's even doable, in global behavior come from? Do we care that the Trump administration doesn't seem to take this seriously? Is this going to come from business? Is this going to come from individual action? How do we fix this?
You know, I think the most disturbing thing to me was when this report card on the Arctic came out. NOAA's interim administrator, who was doing the report, you know, he basically said he has never once briefed the president on climate change, and no other administration, no other NOAA official had done so, which to me just creates this. I mean, I just imagine another time and another presidency. I mean, the movie version of this. You can imagine, somebody saying, "Mr. President, there is aliens are coming, and we're all at threat," and he'd say, well, "Here we all go." You've seen that movie, and for some reason that connection is not happening here. And so I think we need to translate everything that Al is describing here into political currency. People need to understand that voting for people, you need to vote for people who are going to put this in front of the president, put the legislature in front of the president that says, here is the stuff we're going to do. And we've seen a few hopeful signs. A few things have slipped through. He signed a Save Our Seas Act in October that fights microplastics in the Arctic, which is a huge problem. But there needs to be a real understanding, and it's true, especially for young people right now, that it's the top political issue for them.
It's interesting how you say that. If aliens came in or whatever, something big happened, we'd all unite and decide to be around them. But for some strange reason, we don't all see this the
Then
same way.
historically, why haven't we? I mean, you have written about the great Gulf hurricane of 1900.
Yeah.
Here we are so many years later, and we've got an ambassador to Canada who says, well, both sides of science. Why haven't we come together and said we must do something?
Well, I think the general population, if you look at the surveys and studies, they believe in climate change. They believe in this. And individual states and cities are taking their own action. So while we may not see this happening at a federal level, at a more local level, state and local level, cities and counties and states are saying, no, we believe in this, and we are going to enact legislation.
And we've got to mitigate it, right?
Care of
Because their towns are going to be suffering the consequences.
And by the way, this is the national, our Defense Department, the Department of Defense says this is the number one, that climate change is the number one homeland security issue in this country.
Over half. Say that one more time. That is the most
Homeland
important
Security
thing.
says that climate change is the number one threat to Homeland Security. Out of 3,500 Department of Defense installations around the world, over half of them are going to be susceptible to climate change.
That's incredible.
We're not talking about the EPA.
No.
We're not talking about Greenpeace.
No. Department of
We're talking
Defense.
about the Department of Defense.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.